Divorce is a particular complex circumstance. We obviously have two partners and they go through a divorce, and it then really depends. Property is dealt with in terms of the divorce settlement. So, and there are different options there. Sort of a more familiar one would be that the property is registered in both parties' names, or they married in community, for example, and then the settlement may say that one of the two parties will take over the property. In that case, that person would need to prove his or her affordability to the bank. And if not, the property will actually be sold. So it's kind of quite critical that that person would need to obtain finance to facilitate and give effect to the divorce order. So it must be kind of executable. Otherwise, it would need to realize the proceeds out of the sale of that property. If it's just one person owning the property, clearly, again, it depends on the divorce settlement. So it could be counted within that settlement agreement, and it could be counted as sort of equity in the property as equity for that person. And in kind of squaring off the books between the two partners, there would need to be then either a cash payment from that person if there's equity in that property. Let's say there's only one asset and that's the property, and the property's got 500,000 Rand of equity in it, then typically a settlement may be that half of that or whatever would need to be paid to the ex-spouse. And in that case, critical variable then is what we normally see is that the person holding the property would need to obtain further bonds to actually finance that settlement agreement. So that's kind of the normal thing that would happen. In the case of an ANC, it's much easier. Although still it depends, and there are obviously quite a few principles around divorce settlements and how that would work. So for example, if people are married for 30 years and one of the two parties got a property and that's worth 500,000 and that's the only kind of equity between them, there could well be in the whole divorce procedure some settlement around a portion of that still falling to the other partner in the marriage. So it doesn't mean that it's kind of just keep the house and all the equity and there's nothing going to the other party, but that's pretty much around the divorce itself where that will be governed.